Another day, another story. The road to the battlefield goes through endless fields, over ruts in deep mud. The BBC team has been given permission to visit an artillery unit sheltered in a narrow strip of forest in the valley. In order not to reveal their location, we cannot report anything other than that their position is on the front line somewhere in the Donbass. A constant backdrop was the sound of shelling, sometimes close, loud and sharp sounds of gunfire, sometimes bass notes coming from farther along the front. The unit was armed with 2 BM-21 Grad missile launchers. The man commanding one of them did not want to introduce himself by name. "Call me Baldy," he said. Artilleryman nicknamed Baldy, Wright, says he is proud of the BM-21 Grad missile launcher, which is more than 50 years old. Before signing a military contract in 2019, the gunner was a construction worker repairing apartments. Now he commands a powerful weapon system developed in the Soviet Union back in the late 1950s. The BM-21, 14 missile barrels on a powerful truck, is a proven and reliable killing machine. Its salvo covers an area of about a hectare, 10,000 square meters, the size of a large field, and its effects are devastating. The bald man is in his 30s. He supervises the loading and firing of the graduate. It's not an overly complicated process. His team manually screws fuses into the rocket warheads by tightening a special mount. Then they load the rockets into the barrels. When one of them didn't fit the first time, Baldy shoved it in with an insulated, knee-length rubber boot. All fighters wear them. The fall mud is very deep and viscous. What was it? We explain quickly, simply and clearly what happened, why it matters, and what happens next. Baldy tells of his life after the Russian invasion in a succinct and mundane way. "I was woken up at 4:20 a.m. on February 24th. I've been at war ever since. Everything is the same as in the beginning. Everything is very monotonous. We move from place to place," he says. "What am I doing? We launch missiles at the targets we're given. We're at war. No one said it would be easy. But we're getting by." Both of the unit's BM-21 launchers are concealed in caves dug by a bulldozer on a hillside. They do not fire from their position. When the coordinates of the target were received, the truck with the missiles got out of hiding, a green monster that emerged from the liquid mud, half hiding its huge tires. Through the mud, the Grad made its way to a slightly higher open field. It had seemed too dangerous to begin with, and when the Russian shells began falling all around it, that feeling was reinforced. Baldy and his men worked quickly, ignoring the shells falling some 100 yards away, and gave 2 volleys. Then they had to move quickly away from the firing position, before the Russians could spot it, and fire on it. 2 more shells exploded nearby. Our SUV, which had lost its fight against the mud, would not start. Baldy and his men slowed down and we jumped aboard their graduate. They drove us to a safer place and then came back to pull out our car, and its driver, who had been left under fire trying to start it. Occupation: how a journalist filmed life in a town cut off from Ukraine. Back in the camp, Baldy said he wished he had more modern equipment, but was attached to the ancient graduate. "My machine is 52 or 53 years old. We repair it ourselves, extend its life, because our lives are at stake," he said. What about the operation we just witnessed, launching missiles under fire and driving a car that's more than half a century old up to its wheel hubs in the mud through a shelled field? Of course, everyone is scared. But we overcome our fear and go into battle. So, yes, there was shooting. Nothing dramatic. We got away from the shelling. Our old lady helped. We made it out alive. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel not to miss new stories.